Morning. Today we're going to be doing a training video on the Stepp patcherSphd 3.0. This is a oil jacketed dump style patch trailer that we manufacture at Stepp Manufacturing. We're going to go over the features and the options and how to operate the unit. It's a fairly simple unit to operate, and we'll get all this the training and stuff put together and go from there. Thanks. Alright, we're going to kind of start at the front of the trailer and kind of work our way back. We're just going to go over some of the basic functions on the trailer and some of the features on it. Starting off with the tow hitch. The unit is equipped with a 14,000 pound suspension. It does have an equalizer between the two axles, but we do like to try to keep our hitch height level so the hitch is adjustable. You do have your electrical towing plug. Now the most important part about this towing plug on this unit is that we need to plug into the towing or the charging system of the tow vehicle. If you look in your manual, there is a wiring schematic, but you do have to get a hot wire from the truck to keep your batteries charged. You have two batteries in the system, one to operate the hoist, one to operate the burner system. So it's very important that you have power coming from the tow vehicle into your plug. And like I said, it's the plug on here, but there is a wiring schematic in the manual. There is a voltmeter in the control box that's going to tell you if you got power or not. That is the most important thing to operate this unit, is to have a good supply of power from the towing vehicle. The unit is set up. It's got safety chains. It's stamped and graded safety chains. There is a tongue jack. In the box here, we have our two batteries. The two batteries are located in here. One of them operates the hoist on the dump trailer. One of them operates the burner system. In between the two batteries, there's actually a battery charger. There is a plug-in in the back of this. You plug it in. We strongly recommend that you plug it in overnight, every night that you use it. The battery charger is a smart charger, so you can plug it in. Once the batteries are up to the proper voltage, the battery charger is going to turn off. Because we're using those batteries, especially running the hoist up and down so much, it's very important that we have a fully charged battery, especially when we start in the morning. And then, like I said, it's also very important that we have the power wire coming in from the tow vehicle. Behind the battery box, one other thing, you do have your safety breakaway on here, so if for some reason the trailer becomes disconnected from the towing vehicle, it's going to lock your brakes up. That's a safety feature. Behind the battery box, you have your fuel tank. It's equipped with a 25-gallon fuel tank with a fuel filter for the burner system. That fuel tank should give you days of service. We do recommend that you don't run the burner out of fuel, because if you do have to bleed the burner system out to get the air out of the burner. There's a fuel gauge. It will burn any number 2 fuel. It can burn number 1. And it will burn biofuel up to B5 pretty well. If you get over B5, you start to run into some problems when it's cooler weathers. I'm also going to show you, everyone always asks me how the handles work, because everyone looks at it and can't figure it out. These handles are very easy to operate. You pull them straight out until they latch. I'm going to unlock the door to show you how the door is open. There's 2 latches on the back of the door. Once you unlatch the back of the door locks in the up and when we're in the down position. The reason for the latches on the back of the door is so that when we tilt it and we're full of material, for some reason the latches won't come open, you won't have any problem. One of the most important things on this unit, on the door system, is to keep it greased here. There is a greaser because we are sliding that handle in and out on the door prop. There is a roll pin on the back side that connects that. You do have to watch that because that is a replaceable part also. They're very inexpensive. But again, how to operate the doors: if we pull straight out, lift them up until they lock into position. We tilt the door up until it locks. So the doors are very easy to use and operate. The top doors are actually insulated with a polyurethane insulation. So we have the most insulation on the top of our units. The hopper's got 2 inches of fiberglass insulation surrounding the oil jacket. So we're well insulated. With the oil jacket, you get the smooth, even heating system that you don't get with the air jacket units. We're going to kind of move on to the control box system and kind of go over the controls next. All right, we're going to go over the controls on the system, on the unit. It's very simple to operate. It's got actually two thermostats in it to run the diesel burner portion of this, and one thermostat to run the overnight heat system. You're going to have one that's a product temperature and one that's your hot oil. Because we have an oil jacketed heating system in here, we're actually heating the oil with the diesel burner, and the oil's heating our product. So we're going to set our product at our product temperature. If we're running hot mix, we're going to be between 300 and 350 degrees. If we're running cold mix, depending on what type of cold mix it is, if it's a high performance cold mix like UPM or QPR, we're going to run our product temperature in that 100 to 120 degree range. If it's an MC type cold mix, you're going to be in that 225 to 250 range. But we always run our oil 25 to 50 degrees hotter than our product temperature. So if we're running hot mix at 300 degrees, we would run our oil at 325 or 350. Obviously, the colder it is outside, the more heat that we lose to just the cold weather. The units are insulated very well, so they don't lose a lot of heat. But we do need a temperature differential. So product, you set at your product temperature. Hot mix would be 300. Oil, 25 to 50 degrees hotter. That's important that we always have that heating differential. So it's very important that we have our temperature differential. On our overnight heat, the overnight heat plug-in is on the side. We have two different options for overnight heat. This particular unit has 110 volt overnight heaters, which works very well with cold mix. It's going to heat your oil up to about 150 to 200 degrees. With the 220 volt heaters, we can actually heat the oil up to 350 degrees. This unit's equipped with a 110 heater, so you're only going to get about 200 degrees out of it. Again, the thermostat, this thermostat will not light up until we plug it in, but you do have a main power switch for that also. When we flip the power switch on for the burner, you can see the controls light up. There's 5 buttons on the controls. And I'm going to have the cameraman zoom in on this because I want to show you this. The 3 buttons on the left-hand side of this don't do anything. It's actually for the programming of the thermostat. So that's nothing as you guys as operators really need to know about. The only thing that you guys need to worry about is the up and the down arrow. The top temperature is going to be what we're reading, and the bottom temperature is what we're going to be set at. So right now we're reading at 59 degrees on our oil temperature, and it's set at 8 degrees. So I'm going to run that up, cycle the burner on. We're going to put it at, we'll just put it at 120 degrees. And I'm also going to do the same thing for the burner. We're at 40 degrees is what the inside of our hopper is. We don't have any product in there, but we'll still simulate that, to run the burner up. I'm going to just put that at 75 degrees. Now you'll notice on our voltmeter here, our voltage is below 12. That's because we're not hooked to the towing vehicle. We don't have the battery charger plugged in. You can hear the burner fire, and it's not firing real good because we don't have great voltage. And you can see that because of the lower voltage on here. It's very important that we have a good supply of power from the towing vehicle. The burner's going to light. When it lights, it's going to go through a sequence that's going to check out the burner. I'm going to flip the burner off so we don't kill the battery anymore. But it's going to go through a lighting sequence, which is going to start the spark igniters, turn the fuel on. Once it lights, it's going to see the flame. And once it sees the flame, it says, okay, life is good, we're going to keep burning. And if it doesn't, for some reason, if it doesn't light, it's going to try to reignite. If it tries to reignite and doesn't do it the second time, it's going to go into a lockout mode. Once it goes into the lockout mode, you have to manually turn the power switch off and turn it back on to recycle the burners. If you guys notice a lot of smoke coming out of the unit, probably needs a burner adjustment. Burner adjustments are fairly easy to do on this unit, and we'll kind of go over some of that stuff when we get to the burner system itself. But the thermostats, again, it's very simple. They're very simple to operate. Excuse me. You'll notice that you have a call for heat light in the box. The call for heat light means that the thermostats are telling the burner we need some heat. I think it's about a 2 degree temperature drop. Say we set it at 300 degrees, our product's going to go down to 298, and the burner's going to kick back on. But both of those thermostats control that burner system. And the one thing you got to kind of remember is our oil is heating our product. So when our oil comes up to temperature, it's going to shut the burner off, even though our product might not be up to temperature yet because we're heating with the oil. So it's a fairly, like I said, it's fairly simple to operate. To operate the wash down, which is just a hand wand to spray solvents on your tools and the inside of your hopper, you actually turn the burner off. It's the same power switch. You can hear the pump come on. There's a separate 5-gallon tank on the other side of the unit. We'll show you in a couple minutes here. So that's basically the control box. The other things I want to touch base with you while I'm over here, we've got the tool holders. These will hold anything with a handle, shovel, loots, brooms, brakes, any of that kind of equipment. You also do have a shovel cleaning compartment for your to keep your shovels in, to keep them clean all the time. The unit, like I told you before, is equipped with a 14,000-pound suspension. We run a wet hub axle on here, so you just want to make sure that we've got oil in the hubs. That's kind of this side of the unit. We're going to move to the back end of the unit, and then we'll move to the other side and show you the other features on it. Alright, we're going to kind of go over the back end of the unit, guys. We're going to start with the burner system. The burner's located down in the corner here. It fires through a flue in the bottom of the tank. That flue wraps around the bottom, and it actually comes into the stack, and we actually reintroduce the exhaust into the inside of the hopper. So we kind of dump the exhaust on top of the mix, prevents the material on the top from bridging and getting cold. You've got your rear discharge chute. It's equipped with a gas shock, to discharge material. Now on this unit, we can either dispense or discharge the material right onto the ground, or we can dump it onto a shoveling pan for doing smaller pothole work. So the pan folds up to dump onto the ground or onto the pan to do smaller work. I'm going to open one of the top doors. Actually, I'm going to open both of the top doors, and I'm going to tilt the hopper up, and you can see that the unit will tip about 52 degrees. Now, one of the things that we've done on this unit is we've engineered the weight and balance on this, so we can actually tilt this unit without it being hooked to the towing vehicle, because our center of gravity is over the center of the axles, not behind the rear axles like many of the competitors units are. On the side of the control box, or on the side of the unit, is the controls for the hoist. It does have a magnet on it, so you can kind of put that anywhere. So we're going to run the hoist up. So you can kind of see the inside of the hopper. Now we recommend that you spray the inside of your hopper with an environmentally friendly release agent so that the material slides on here, so you can get the material out. We recommend that you clean the unit out every night so that you don't have any hard spots in the unit. If you're not kind of go over the back end of the unit. Diesel burner is located on the side here. It actually fires through a flue that's located in the bottom of the oil tank. So the burner fires down in the bottom of the tank, comes around, wraps up, and actually discharges into the hopper on top of the mix. It actually kind of prevents the material on the top from getting cold. You discharge on here, you have a single discharge door that discharges your material. If you want, you can discharge directly onto the roadway surface, or if you're doing small potholes, you can discharge onto the pan and shovel out of the pan to do your small pothole work. It is kind of nice that you can, dump the whole load if you want, if you have a large patch. The controls for the hoist are here. It's an electric over hydraulic hoist. We actually run a scissor type truck hoist in here. We'll take a couple pictures of that so you can kind of see what we're talking about. It's the same type of hoist that you're going to have in your dump truck, at your shop. We recommend that you spray the inside of the unit with an environmentally friendly release agent so that the material slides. And you'll notice that this unit's going to tilt up to 52 degrees without being hooked onto the towing vehicle. That's something that most of our competitors can't do. You'll see, that's all the way up and we're not flipped over backwards. Because our weight and balance is right, we can do this. What's nice at the end of the night is we can come in here and we can clean the hopper out without having to get inside the hopper. So you can see that it tilts very high. Now the other thing I want to show you, the very front of the tank, there's an oil fill. On that oil fill there is a dipstick because we're like I said, the floor and the sides of the unit are oil jacketed, and that's what heats our product. We're going to tilt this back down so you can kind of see how that works. It's a double acting hoist on here, so it's power up and power down. But you'll notice that we don't need any outriggers on the unit to tilt the unit because, like I said, the weight and balance has been done. Even with material in the hopper, our weight and balance is still very good. We actually engineered, when we engineered this unit, we engineered it with material in it, at our highest points. Your washdown wand and hose reel are located here. This is going to be, to spray your tools, to spray the inside of your hopper. There is a 5-gallon tank up on the front side of that to put your release agents in there. It's pretty simple to operate. Like I said, that is on the same switch as the burner power, so that we shut the burner off while we're spraying in case we were to use a solvent that's flammable. That's kind of the conclusion. Actually, we're going to do a little bit of, give you a little information on the diesel burner. If you notice that the diesel burner starts to smoke, it's going to need a burner adjustment. There's 2 air bands. Now we're going to have the cameraman zoom in. We've got a large air band, and on the side of it we've got a fine air band. So we want to make sure that when we fire it, if you're noticing a lot of smoke, it means we have too much fuel and not enough air. So we're going to open that up to get a little bit more air. Now if we get too much air, we get it too lean, the burner won't fire. So normally how we set these is we shut the air bands completely down, get the burner to light, and it smokes really bad. Once we get it to light, then we start to open the air bands until we see the visible smoke leaving. Now that's not something that normally needs to be adjusted unless we start to see a lot of black sooty smoke coming out of the unit. The other thing I want to mention is down here on the side of the burner is a pit cock. If you're running out of fuel, you need to bleed the burner. How to bleed the burner is you open the pit cock, you flip the switch in the control box, it's going to spit and sputter fuel so you get a good steady stream. You may have to cycle it 2 or 3 times, if the burner, if you do run out of fuel, to get the fuel through the burner system. That kind of concludes our training today. I'd like to thank you for purchasing a Stepp manufacturing dump style trailer. You can see there's a lot of neat features that are built into the unit. It's a very well built unit, and it's going to give you many years of service. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us at any time at 651-674-4491. Thank you.